Hello, guys. This is Dan from the Blues Focus podcast, and thank you very much for inviting us on to the Voices of the Vic podcast to talk all things Birmingham City versus Watford on Tuesday night at St Andrews. Now, the first question they've asked me is to sum up last season. Now, last season for Blues fans was a season of underwhelming if you can if you can call it that. I mean, we had Lee Bowyer in charge, who never really looked exactly sure in his starting 11. We changed systems and play styles throughout the season. We signed players such as Fran Castillo that just didn't really fit in at Blues, not up to the level of the Championship. And really, realistically, we were very lucky in terms of point deductions to actually stay up and stay in the league. I think most Blues fans were delighted that we stayed up, and a bit shocked. But there's certainly, obviously, with the uncertainty around Blues, there's definitely an aspect of, we're lucky to be in this league, and we really are. And you know, Bowyer wasn't really the man for us, but we've got rid of him now, and we're sort of starting a new project at Blues, which is obviously something we seem to be doing every single season at the moment. So that's how I'd sum up last season. In terms of aims for the new season, it's sort of the same really, because we've sort of every season we seem to sack the manager. We had Karanka sacked him, Bowyer sacked him, Eustace, and even before that, when we had Pep Clotet, we had, it's just every season, Gary Monk, every season, we're just having this sort of 3-year plan where it's just a foundation year, then a season of stability, and then go for the real, push building a squad. But we've never got past the first year, and it just sums up Blues really under the current ownership. So that's really the end of the season. I'd sort of say stay up between 18th and 16th. I'd be delighted with. I think definitely there's an argument that this is the foundation year, and although Eustace may not make it to the end of it, who knows? We'd hope that he can definitely keep us up this year and let us build on something for the future. Some of the signings made. So we've signed John Ruddy from Wolves, a goalkeeper that I don't really need to go into much detail about. Him, very experienced. We've signed Przemysław Freszeta from Norwich, who's a left winger, but we're playing him as a left wing back at the moment. We've got Austin Trusty on loan from Arsenal, who's been fantastic, left-sided centre back. We've signed Dion Sanderson from Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we've also signed Christian Bielik on loan from Derby County, sort of a defensive midfielder, which I'm sure Watford may have been interested in him as well. In terms of sort of a standout player for the season so far, I'd definitely say Austin Trusty at that left-sided centre-back role has definitely been a player to watch out for. He sort of covers the space between the left wing back and the centre back centre of the pitch very well. He's got a lot of pace about him. He can move across, cover the area, cover the space, and it's very handy because it allows Freshetta, who's also been brilliant, to get forward on that left-hand side and be more of a left winger rather than a left wing back, which definitely plays to his strengths. Another player I'd say is also Janino Bacuna. I mean, he's been fantastic so far this season. Was off it against Cardiff, but certainly against Huddersfield, he was just fantastic. His cross for the goal was brilliant, and he's a great player. The player who catches my eye for Watford, I would go with Joao Pedro. I think he's got the biggest future at the club, certainly ahead of some of the other players you've got, like Ismail Assar and people like that. Obviously, Sar's goal caught my eye the other night against West Brom, I think, over David Button from the halfway line. But Joao Pedro, definitely for me, I could see him going to a top 6 Premier League side in a few seasons, probably next season if you go up. I think he's got a lot of flair about him, and he's got a pedigree now. He's definitely one of those players that gets respect in the Championship, which I don't think he was the last time he was in it. He's definitely a 46-game Championship player now, and I hope that he does well for you this season, just not on Tuesday. Score prediction: I'm going to go with a 1-0 Watford win. I think that's pretty much what you'd expect from most Blues fans. I'm not expecting Blues to really have any sort of major chances in the game. I think if we could scrape a point, it'd be an absolute miracle. But with the sort of players we've got at the moment in defence, the Mark Roberts, the Maxime Collins, the overpaid Championship players who were fantastic in 2016, but in 2022 they don't cut it. Certainly Roberts had a shocker on Saturday against Cardiff. So I can only hope for damage limitation. However, if we did somehow scrape a point and Troy Deeney scored against you, I would be over the moon. 3 up, go down, 3 up, 3 to go up, 3 to go down. I'm going to stick with my 3 to go up from the start of the season, which would be Norwich, Watford, and Burnley. I know that's a very boring choice, but I think it is the correct choice for this season. I think Norwich, I had them done to win the league, but I'm not so sure anymore. Watford, for me, will win the league now. Norwich in second, and Burnley, I think, will definitely win the playoffs. Now, 3 to go down, I would say Reading rock bottom. I think it's pretty standard prediction, to be honest. Their financial situation, their manager, Paul Ince, not a championship quality manager, and also their goalkeeper. If you haven't not seen the game on the weekend, you need to look at the highlights because you will grab some popcorn and watch the Rotherham Reading highlights because you will absolutely love it. So I will put Reading bottom, Rotherham actually next. I think they haven't got the strong enough squad to survive. And obviously that if I think that shows you what that 4-0 win over Reading says about Reading. And then also this is an interesting one for me. The 22nd position, I did have Coventry there. Funnily enough, earlier in the season. However, I'm going to change that now because I'm not quite sure what was going through my head when I predicted that. So I've gone with Wigan actually. I think Sunderland have just got enough to do it for me. I think they'll stay up just above Wigan. But Wigan for me, I don't think they've really strengthened their squad that much. I mean, they signed Ashley Fletcher recently, but I don't think they have from Watford actually. But I don't think they have enough to survive in the Championship this season. So that'll be my 3 up and 3 to go down. And that concludes this little video clip for the Voices of the Vic. So thanks very much for having us on, guys. If you are interested, any of your viewers, in Birmingham City content or Depression FC, as I've nicknamed ourselves, you can go and find us over on Blues Focus Pod on Twitter for me and the podcast boys, me, Tommy and Joe, or you can go and find the whole organisation, Blues Focus, over on Twitter at Blues Focus. Thanks very much, guys, and keep right on.